Hey guy, welcome to the Dark Tales to Abandoned House Horror. So guys, if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, don't forget to subscribe so as to enjoy more scary stories. During my early childhood, my family lived in an upper middle class neighborhood with spacious houses. Among these houses was an abnormally large one, almost like a mansion, situated directly across the street from our home. From my bedroom window, I could easily see into the windows of the mansion. Since our street had very little traffic, our parents allowed us to play soccer there. One sunny day, my two friends, Brian and Zeke, and I were having a game of our own version of soccer. During the game, the ball got kicked onto the mansion's property, and I went to retrieve it. As I picked up the ball, I glanced at the windows, wondering if the house's owner might be watching me on his property. To my surprise, I saw a young boy around our age looking back at me from one of the top windows. Feeling slightly uneasy, I quickly returned to my friends and asked if they knew about the boy living in the mansion, but they hadn't seen him. A month passed before I saw the boy again. I was in my room playing Nintendo when I happened to look out my window across to the mansion. There he was, staring back at me from the same window. It sent a shiver down my spine, and I tried to ignore it, questioning why I had never seen the boy outside before. It also struck me that I had rarely seen the owners of the mansion. Curious about the boy, I asked my parents if they knew anything about him. They were confident that no boy lived in that house. My suspicions persisted, so I decided to investigate further. During a soccer game with my friends, I ran to the mansion's front door and rang the bell, hoping to invite the boy to play with us. To my surprise, a woman in her 50s answered the door. I asked if her son wanted to join our soccer game, describing the boy I had seen at the window. The woman looked shocked and fearful, questioning what the boy looked like. After describing him, a tear rolled down her cheek, and she brought me upstairs to the room where I had seen the boy. It was a boy's bedroom, and she showed me a picture, asking if it was the boy I had seen. Confirming it, she revealed that the boy was her 8-year-old son, Charlie, who had passed away 10 years ago. Her husband and son were gone, and she had been living alone ever since. She believed my account because neither I nor my parents had any way of knowing about her deceased son. As sad as this revelation was, it was also deeply haunting. Despite the passage of time, I saw the boy again, months later, standing at the upstairs window, looking back at me. The experience still sends shivers down my spine when I reflect on it. Let's get in the second two abandoned house horror stories. I had almost given up 3 times due to the overwhelming elements, but the profound loneliness of the snow-filled road persuaded me to continue. Despite the risks, I decided to brave the journey through the bleak snowstorm, hoping at least to find warmth. After driving for hours through the thick blue snow, I was utterly exhausted. Thankfully, I spotted a snow-covered house in the distance, and my relief was immense. As I pulled over and approached the building, my anticipation grew, hoping to find someone inside who could help me. However, as I got closer, I realized that the house looked old and withered. The architecture suggested it had been standing for seasons without maintenance. My gut feeling was that the house wasn't abandoned, and I feared it might collapse at any moment. Despite the eerie feeling, I pushed on, driven by a mysterious force compelling me to explore the ancient dwelling. As I climbed the decaying stairs leading to the porch, a terrible smell assaulted my senses, intensifying the already cruel cold. Inside, I was greeted by an unsettling assortment of furniture in the living room. The house seemed empty, but I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. Ignoring my growing unease, I continued to explore, hoping to find someone who might need help. As I moved deeper into the house, the putrid smell became overwhelming, making me feel dizzy and nauseous. Still, I couldn't resist the urge to continue. Suddenly, I heard a moan coming from a corner, and my ears strained to catch the sound. My curiosity led me to a man lying on the floor, seemingly in pain. He pleaded for help, but I hesitated, unsure of his intentions. When I noticed the knives tucked into his pants, fear gripped me. The man's eyes reflected a malevolent intent, and I instinctively stepped back. As he lunged at me with a knife, I managed to escape, rushing towards the open door. The man pursued me, and in a moment of desperation, I turned and saw him slip on the stairs, knocking himself unconscious. I quickly fled to my car and left the old house, not daring to look back. The encounter had left me shaken and terrified, grateful that I had been cautious enough to leave the door open, allowing me to escape the dangerous man.